Hey, welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here with co-host Chip. There he is over here. We have a very special guest with us tonight, Alex Mashinsky, CEO of the Celsius Network. And today we're going to talk a little bit about earning passive income with an amazing platform, putting your crypto to work. Alex, it's great to have you on tonight.
Thanks, Jeff. Chip, great to see you guys again. We survived Corona, so we're in a great shape.
We're in awesome shape. And Chip, I think we're ready to get this thing started.
Let's go.
Welcome to On the Chain.
All right. Welcome back. So, Alex, it's great to have you on again. I've been looking at the website. I'll tell you what, since the last time you were on, I've started to use the Celsius platform and I love it. It's been absolutely outstanding.
We've paid now over $500 million worth of interest or rewards to our community. 665,000 users worldwide. So it's definitely we just crossed 18 billion in assets. I mean, it's just crazy. It's been a phenomenal ride. It's just flying much faster than any of us. I feel like I'm in the car and then I'm barely holding onto the wheel and the wheels are coming off, and it's been quite a ride, and obviously doing good, doing well, so I knock on wood every day.
Great feeling to be alive. I was curious, a lot of the people own a lot of the alternate coins, obviously there's the top ones, but it's just out of curiosity, one of the questions that kind of came up again and again was on Celsius. You put out, I think it was maybe 3 weeks ago, I got the email that said that, no longer is XRP going to pay out on it, that percent and earn on that. So maybe you could explain a little bit what went into that decision and, what you think about, potentially in the future.
Yeah, so we support 45 different coins and tokens. Love XRP, love the XRP community. We still issue loans, I think, on XRP. Also, this decision is only for Americans. If you're not an American, you could still earn yield on XRP. And basically, until our issue is that since we pay you yield and we pay it in XRP, and if XRP is deemed to be a security, then we have issued unregistered securities to U.S. residents, right? So we wanted to avoid that problem, and basically we had to freeze until the SEC and XRP or Ripple, work out their issues. Now, the good news is that in July we're coming up with a new version that allows you to get paid in any coin you want. So basically, you can say, I want to be paid in stablecoin on XRP, and then there's no problem. So we're going to reinstate the yield on XRP. You get a scoop. You see, no, we haven't told this to anybody. So I always give you a scoop when I come.
You always do give us a scoop.
There's
always
something new.
Words to live by.
So the good news is that again, the issue is not with XRP. The issue is paying the interest on XRP.
Right.
In XRP.
Yeah, that's something I've noticed. The U.S. we're still relatively limited due to the lack of regulatory clarity. But now, so we're not able to collect on XRP, but also Cell token. And I've invested in Cell token for a while now, and it's gone up a decent amount. But in the U.S., you can't get paid your interest dividends or in Cell token, correct? It seems like it's an active option, but when you go to select it, it doesn't allow you to get paid out in Cell token.
Yeah, so a credit will be enabling accredited investors to earn in Cell in June. So basically, starting June, you'll be able to elect to earn and sell, and if you show us your accreditation, then that's not a problem. So we're solving that. Again, we're waiting for, like you said, the SEC to clarify the rules. We don't think we're security, but we rather be safe than sorry. And with 18 billion in assets, I don't want to be shut down because I did a tiny little infraction, right? I mean, we're doing so much good for so many people around the world. We created a whole revolution. Remember, when I was talking about yield, this was a year and a half before DeFi. DeFi didn't exist when I was
Right.
talking about yield.
Yep.
Now everybody's trying to copy Celsius, and they're coming up with farming and all kind of other mechanisms. But Cell was the original way. Everybody, when you get Cell token for depositing Bitcoin or Ethereum or stablecoin, that is exactly the same thing as getting Comp or getting Uni or getting any of the other stuff. So we really, I think, created this whole concept of yield and then getting paid in a different token. And today I'm very happy to see hundreds of other companies innovating on this concept, adding, obviously, if we did it all by ourselves, there wouldn't be 100 billion in DeFi today. So we're very happy to have kind of been the spark that caused all of this.
You've always been a pioneer, Alex, though. I mean, your whole entire life, you've been a pioneer since the voice over IP days. So, kind of just, but they package it different. They call it a different name. Yeah, some of those things.
VoIP. I called it VoIP on your show, and no one calls it VoIP. Everybody,
right, VoIP is voice over IP. Is voice over IP, but VoIP. But that's what it used to be called back in the day. By the way, we have a question here by XRP Sweden. It says, "I'm a Nexo customer today, but I might want to switch to Celsius, which sounds more flexible."
Sure. Yeah. So I think we pay higher interest than Nexo, and obviously, if you're earning in Cell, if you're in Sweden, you can earn in Cell, and you'll get a much higher yield. And last year, Cell was the best performing token. If you look at Masari, they ran by 2x ahead of everybody else, and we definitely. And again, all credit goes to the community. I mean, we have a community of hodlers. So they hodl their own coins, then they hodl the Cell token. And when you hodl, prices go up,
Yeah.
And that's different from other exchanges because the other exchanges encourage you to spend it. They go, why don't you get a card so you can hook it up to your account? You can start spending it. No, but that's where the philosophy of Celsius.
That's right. All the exchanges and all of our competitors make money from transactions, from fees, right? They want you to spend, they want you to buy and sell, everything besides hodl, right? So because our business model is we don't charge any fees, right? There's zero fees. We've never charged a Celsian $1 in fees. So all the money we make is by rehypothecating or lending the assets to institution, collecting interest, giving you 80%, keeping 20%, and everything else we're giving you for free. The loans are basically for free. Everything else is for free.
Yeah. And Alex, I'm bringing up your website. Congratulations on this. It seems like I rarely go onto the website because I'm always engaged with the app. There was a question here that asked, when you're going to add an actual browser-based engagement, so you can go through and invest and check your portfolio online through a browser.
So that's already out in beta, and it will be available to all Celsians by the end of May, by the end of this month. So just in about 25 days. So it's right around the corner. If you're an ambassador of Celsius, you already have access to the beta version, the web app. We call it the web app.
Okay, that's great. And I'll tell you what, I look at, I recently got one of my friends investing into crypto, and we talk a lot about interest yields and where you're keeping your money, and typically you have your fiat currency sitting stagnant in a bank account, if you're lucky, getting paid out at 0.5% annual returns. And we start looking at this, and you look at the yields on crypto, even on USDC, paying out at 12.6%. It's really attractive. Everybody has risk tolerance, but keeping it in a stable coin and still getting a high level yield return on your asset is amazing. And you don't have to worry about the fluctuation in a crypto asset.
Right. If you're super conservative and you don't believe at all in the crypto revolution, that's fine. Get a stable coin, earn the yield. Right now you can earn it in Cell, but like I said, in July you'll be able to earn it in Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything else. So your principal is still safe, but you're basically taking all the interest and you're letting the interest be your free money that we're giving you for free, effectively, B, you're taking the risk in Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? So you're really not risking your principal. So that's a great way for noobs or people that are just getting into the space not to risk their dollars. And we love that. I mean, that's what everybody who's just getting in should be doing, because you jump into Ethereum and you think, oh my God, I bought it at 3,500 and it's going to 10,000. No, it's going down, right? So you feel like an idiot. So here you're really taking much less risk. You get to learn about the community, or average your buy-ins, right? You say, okay, every month I'm gonna buy 1/10 of my USDC in Bitcoin, right? And in the meantime, it's earning interest. So it's a win-win-win.
Yeah, it's outstanding. Yeah, go ahead.
So last time you were on the show, Alex, two things really stuck with me. When you were putting Celsius together, you had mentioned that you weren't looking to build Wall Street 2.0, right? So where Wall Street, it's all about fee structures and stuff. And so that was something that really stuck with me. And you also issued a challenge that last time you came on the chain. You said, we give you 80, we give 80% back. We keep 20% for ourselves. But if you want to be somebody out there that wants to one-up us, go ahead and give 90%, right? And keep 10%. And you know what? Nobody's even stepped up to the plate and done the 80% yet. No one's even come close to that. So, I don't think that mantle is going to be reached anytime soon.
So you showed Nexa before, right? On the question.
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Nexa gives 30% of their earnings, and Binance gives 20% of their earnings with a cap. They're basically saying, we'll give you 20% up to until we buy half of all the tokens. Celsius has no caps, no limits, 80% day or night. Doesn't matter if you gave us $10 or $10 million. Everybody earns exactly the same. Everybody's in the same pool, just like you're in the pool on Compound or in the pool on Yearn or in any of these pools, right? So again, what we created was the model. Some people say, well, you're not fully decentralized. I paid more interest than all these pools put together, $500 million. I've been doing this longer than all those pools put together. So I think I am fully decentralized, like everybody else is a subset of what we're doing. So look, the trust with the community, right? The confidence that people basically plan their lives around the Monday distribution that they get from Celsius, right? They plan their expenses, they plan their mortgage payments and everything else. So, and that's what, you ask me why did I do this? I get letters from these people every week, every day, thanking us for giving them, allowing them to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Finally, they can work, put their savings to work, and build for their family and everything else. Look, all the banks in the last 2 weeks published their financials, all the banks, and they all reported all-time record profits, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs had 100% increase from last year in net earnings, right? So they make twice as much money. Citi, right? Wells Fargo, even the banks who are struggling at the record earnings. Did they give any of that to their depositors? No. The rates have stayed exactly the same, 0.1, 0.2%. Jeff is getting 0.5. That's like, he must have found some community bank. But the point is that they, Jamie Dimon can decide, I'm going to take $5 billion and give it to my customers instead of giving it to my shareholders. But every quarter, he decides to give all that money to his shareholders. The only thing Celsius has done is decide every Monday to give all of these profits to our depositors and not to the share. I'm the largest shareholder of Celsius, and I'm just not taking that money. I'm giving it all back to the community. So
it's
that's
amazing.
There's no magic innovation. It's just not having that greed that Wall Street has that is killing America.
And look how profitable you are, even with that. And it's great. I as you start seeing more and more people in the crypto space understanding the investment strategies, understanding how to get your money to work for you passively in a passive form, and do it relatively risk-free. Like if you're putting your USDC, but really all of your asset, you can't do that with stock. You can't say I'm investing my stock unless it's paying dividends, which most of them don't. You're not getting anything out of it unless it increases in value. Here, you're holding Bitcoin, you're holding XRP, well, not XRP now in the US, but any of the assets are paying out a decent percentage. And you bring up Mondays. Monday's a great day. I love seeing my email on Mondays. I'm like, oh, I wonder how much interest I got, today. And it's great. Hey, quick question here for you, Alex. So this came in from Matt Morrow out of Australia. We have viewers coming in from all over the world. So the engagement that we have question-wise is going to come from all over. So Matt Morrow is saying he's wondering if you could give us an idea of how soon Celsius might have full insurance coverage. He said, that's always waiting for. Thanks for the great show. But can you you explained it prior to, the protective insurance kind of mechanism. Can you get into that a little bit?
Sure. So first, our custodians already have insurance. So Fireblocks, our main custodian, has $100 million insurance on all hot wallet transactions. And I made it a big point out of the fact that a lot of companies tell you they have insurance, but really what they have is cold storage insurance. So if your coins are sitting in cold storage, they're not earning any money. For them to earn money, they have to be lent out. So what we're creating at Celsius is what we call self-insurance, but really we're collecting. You can already opt in. If you have a Celsius app, you can opt in to be part of the insurance pool. And basically, whatever we put in that pool also earns interest. Unlike your car insurance, where every year you have to pay premium, here the premium accumulates. And if anything happens, we first dip into the premium if it has nothing to do with custodians and so on. Because really the greatest risk is lending out to a counterparty that doesn't pay you back, really. And no insurance today, not Lloyd's and not all these fancy names that people throw at you, exchanges, and other people say, oh, I have 200 million of insurance. What does it cover, right? It doesn't cover any of these instances. So Celsius basically created this self-insurance mainly to cover counterparty risk, right? What happens if the borrower, even though they give us collateral, defaults and we cannot recover all the coins that we've lent out? So again, you can opt into that today. That pool has to grow, but over time, again, we have 18 billion in deposit. If you do the math, even if it's whatever, half of 1% that goes to insurance, it's very, very quickly going to become the largest insurance in the industry. So again, I estimate by the end of this year, there's probably going to be at least $100 million in that kitty pot, which will be real money against real disaster.
I had a couple questions here, Alex. So this is the rock is home. This rock is home. He said, I've started to move all my stuff from BlockFi over to Celsius because Cell is so much better. So there's somebody who's already started making it. And then we have Alex Yeet here who's asking when Cardano. When Cardano.
We announced it on my AMA on Friday. So just a few days ago, that in June, next month, not this month, but next month, we will have ADA. And we love Cardano. We're going to be doing also several projects with them. So it's coming. Finally, it's here.
That's great. Hey, just quick shout out. My dad is here watching. Papa Huddle says hello, everyone. Great guest. By the way, Jeff at work, so we got him set up again on YouTube. But he's been a big fan of yours as well. And then there's another question that was right there that came from Spencer. He said his account was deactivated a while ago. He's had no luck getting a hold of a customer support. What do you recommend for Spencer?
Well, we definitely had some growing pains. We've doubled the customer service team. We're actually doubling it again. I'm hiring 50 new agents in Las Vegas. We already have 65 of them in Europe. So we're adding people every day. But I would email security at Celsius.network, because usually they send emails to app at Celsius.network, which is more customer service. If you have a security issue, just email security at Celsius.network. Give them the email you registered with, and let's see if they can solve your problem. Normally, the only reason you would be deactivated is if we find your name in dark pools where somebody grabbed your password or whatever. We basically shut down your account to prevent people from stealing your money, because unfortunately, a lot of people use the same password everywhere, the same name, the same login, same email, and that's the least safe way to do things. So we proactively deactivate accounts just to protect them. Again, I'd rather you complain that you didn't have access than lose all your money. So normally it's either that or an AML infraction, meaning if your name shows up or you've done stuff that looks like money laundering, then the team will freeze your account. So those are the kind of the main two reasons.
Gotcha. DJ Jarvis is asking, I wish I would have listened to my cousin a couple years ago when he told me to buy Celsius. The 1,075 he spent on Celsius is now worth over $150,000. Well, isn't that how it works with if you get in when there's an opportunity, you go ahead and reap the reward. So yeah, DJ Jarvis, listen to your cousin. He seems to be a smart guy or gal.
We've created over 300 millionaires. So we're very proud of that. On our website,
Incredible.
we list all of them, any one of them who, so we list the top 500 holders. And basically the top 300 are already worth over $1 million each. And so we're really super excited that, again, unlike a lot of other projects, unlike Coinbase, unlike BlockFi, unlike Nexo, this was a community project, right? When we launched this, 1,500 crypto users contributed the initial capital to build Celsius. And then we opened it, the only round of funding we've ever done, we opened it to the community, and another 1,000 Celsians joined, put in like, I think something like $12 million. And
Wow.
that is now, this was just, 9 months ago, right? And that investment is probably worth 10 or 20 times what they put in, because Celsius has done so well. So again, this is a win-win-win where you get to participate on the sell side, you get to participate to earn yield, and you get to participate on the equity. Where do you get this kind of chance, right? Coinbase, not a single one of their users got to participate before they went public. It was only open to the founders and the VCs.
And they advertised that it opened at 245. Jeff and I were watching it. It did open at 245. If you were on the privilege list, like you said, you might have got that in there. But by the time it actually hit the exchanges, it was 360 when I first saw it.
You get to pay retail. First, you paid them all the fees. You paid them 7% for selling you all the Bitcoin and everything else, and then you get to buy it at retail at $350. I mean, so look, I mean, you ask, say something negative on Celsius on Twitter and see what happens to you.
Celsius, the Celsius, the mafia will come in and break kneecaps.
They're crazy. I mean, they're really and it's because, look, we live for the community. Look, I'm the largest Celsius user, right? I have a few $100 million in Celsius. So it's a very easy decision. When I'm thinking, should I charge myself fees? The answer is always no. I'm like, why would I charge myself fees?
Okay, so Alex, you're in New York, and we've got another New York hostage here. But he's saying, can New York residents use Celsius? Because we know there's some issue with some of the exchanges.
Yeah, so New York was open. We closed it for a few weeks because our custodian had issues. They couldn't process the application fast enough, but now it's open again. So you can take a loan, you can deposit. Not all the coins are available because New York State has very strict rules. So you don't get to choose the 45 different assets. I think it's limited to like 6 or 7. But hey, take a ride to New Jersey and then you're fine. So just we'll take your Uber ride to Hoboken and just great bars in Hoboken, and they're open. So go have some fun, and you can do anything you want on your wallet. The restriction is only while you're in New York State.
Gotcha. Shout out to VAR415. Thank you very much for the support. Always appreciate it. Tony Fisk says, sign me up, coach. I'm in. Put me in the game. Put me in. I'm all excited. Johnny Nevermind said, I'm on Celsius, and the one thing is I can't change from coin to coin. Another thing is I can't borrow against XRP. And I know we discussed that, but we always have people kind of coming in and out of the stream. And there's about 2 other people that had mentioned that about when XRP will go back into effect and how that might work.
Yeah, so in July, you'll have swaps inside the app. You can go from any coin to any coin, and there's going to be no fees. Today, any service you use,
Good.
doesn't matter who you use, exchanges, the best exchange in the world, they all have a spread and a fee. Celsius has 0 spread and no fee. So because we don't charge on any service we provide, and we squeezed our credit card provider, we're now offering the industry lowest rates on credit cards. So all in is 5% for Americans, which is amazing, right? It's 2% less than Coinbase on credit card transactions, and that's already live in the wallet. And again, in July, you'll be able to choose to earn on XRP with stablecoin or something else. So we're going to raise the rate back from 0 to whatever, 3 or 4%, whatever the market is, because we'll be able to earn on it again.
Are you going to be able to attach a bank account, do an ACH transfer, or just credit card?
So you can use ACH today. It's not available everywhere. There are still states that restrict this. There are credit card banks like Citi and Bank of America that block you from buying crypto. It doesn't matter if it's Celsius or if it's Coinbase. They immediately declare that as fraud, and they report it to Visa and MasterCard because they try to shut down the merchant on the other side. And it's just a horrible thing what the banks are doing. Like, this is my money. This should go to the Supreme Court because
It really ought to.
no right
Yeah.
to tell you what you should or should not be doing. So
Right.
I can't wait for some lawyer to decide that they want to take this case and go and basically collect hundreds of millions of dollars from these banks for what they're doing.
Yeah, it's robbery. I mean, imagine someone makes that decision at that level. Here's something right here. A question from Dragan says, using Ethereum platform, how much does Celsius cover in gas fees? Must be insane. So that's because the gas fees are really getting kind of crazy. I saw some stat, a couple billion over the last month and a half.
Yeah, so believe it or not, we pay all of your withdrawal fees. You have 0 cost. There's not a single dollar that you pay Celsius
Amazing.
withdrawal fees. You will pay a deposit fee because we can't pay that. That comes from Coinbase or whoever.
Right.
But you're not going to pay us any withdrawal fees. So we paid on, if you go to our community page on the app, and you will see, we actually publish how much we paid. We already paid $4.7 million in withdrawal fees for our community since the beginning of the year. So yeah, it's costing us a lot of money. But again, all that money is money that we earned from institutions. So it's great. It's great because think about it this way. The institutions are withdrawing. These big banks that hate you are withdrawing your are paying for your withdrawal fees.
Yeah, another question is when Matic, Polygon, when do you anticipate that? So that's really
it's in the app right now. It's one of our biggest earners. If you want to bring
there
that
you go.
site, yeah,
Matic
it's right
is good,
there.
yeah.
So Matic pays, I think, 18% or something like that. It's one
Any
of our
questions?
earners.
It's phenomenal. And so that's the other question that I had, right? Because somebody said, like, I know XRP was like a lower cost, but you got something like Matic where you're upwards of 18. How do you guys determine that? I don't need the secret sauce, but like just kind of like on an overview, how is it determined? Because I know there's some fluctuation. You know, like if you go to Bitcoin, you're going to see a lower yield than if you go to some other coins, which are in the 12 to 15% range.
Sure. There is no secret sauce. I mean, we tell.
There has to be some secret sauce.
No, there isn't.
Oh, no. Okay, just checking. Okay.
I explained, look, if you go to the first time I attended your show and you listen to what I said then, we haven't changed anything. You read our white paper. You read our white paper from 2017. We haven't changed anything that we're doing, right? So some of these coins earn their own yield. Like Matic is, you can stake it and
right.
its own yield. So we don't almost have to do anything. Now we have a lot of Matic and we have our own node. So we earn more than what you would earn yourself. And we're paying you more. Even with our fee, we're paying you more than you can earn yourself. But you don't need us. You can go and stake it yourself, right? You just need to know. Most people have no clue what I'm talking about. Staking, what? I like a steak, to eat a steak, but what are you talking about? So,
Right. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so, but Bitcoin doesn't earn its own yield. Bitcoin, you have to actually lend out, earn yield from from the institutions, collected. Sometimes you earn it in USDC. Sometimes you earn it in ETH. Then you got to convert it into Bitcoin and pay it out to Bitcoin. And the people who decided to earn and sell, I got to take Bitcoin, buy, sell with it, and then sell in their account. That's what we do every day, right?
That's amazing.
So the yield is determined by the need for Bitcoin. So we have 350 institutions, some of the largest financial institutions in the world. They have a crypto desk, and that desk calls and says, I need 10,000 Bitcoin. And we're like, okay, 6.5%. They're like, no, 5. We negotiate the rate. Let's say we agreed to 5.5%. And we stack all these transactions together. Comes Friday, every Friday at 11 o'clock, we all get together. All the Celsians that deal with the rates get together. We look at what we earned during the week, and we see, okay, the published rate is 6.2. We earned 5.5. We got to lower the rate. Or we earned 7.5. We got to raise the rate. So the rate we publish for this week is based on what we earned last week, right? And then on this Friday, we're going to be publishing a rate that is based on what happened this week. No one else is doing it this way. If you see all our competitors, they all have the same rate all year round. What does it tell you? Are they earning the money, or they're just publishing a rate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I really like the way you have the way you have it set up, and I do track it. It's amazing. I mean, it's really, overall, I think it's extremely reliable. There's so much, and every time I go in, I can find new ways, to figure out how I'm going to earn more. And I like your explanation with Matic, because now the wheels are turning on how to get Matic over to your platform. At USDC was great. It's 10.5%, going over, and there's some little fluctuation there as well, I saw, but going over to Matic. Now there's another element that might be somewhat limiting to those in the US, but maybe not. Depends. Let me add this up here. And someone had asked this, can you kind of get into and explain the loyalty tiers? And this, I think it adds a whole nother component to what you're offering, with Celsius, that I haven't really seen anywhere else. And it's all based on your cell token holdings.
Right. So the idea is that it's like airline miles, right? The more you use us, and the more you have a cell token, the more you're going to earn. So if you can earn in cell, right? If you don't earn in cell, then none of this applies to you. But if you can earn in cell, again, accredited US or outside the United States, then you get to earn more than just the rate that is published. So let's say the rate is 10% for stablecoin, and you're a bronze user, you would earn basically 10.5%, right? Because you're going to get 5% more. If you're a platinum user, you're going to earn 25%. So that's 12.5%, right? So the rate that you earn is based on how much you're holding, how much you're hodling in cell token. And that's what creates the appreciation also in cell, because if everybody's hodling, then they're not selling. If they're not selling, then the price is going up, then they hodl even more. And what you earn in cell, that person that you showed that invested $1,000 and it's now worth 100-something thousand, it's because it's not just that he has compounding interest, but it's compounding interest of an asset that is increasing in value every week. So that is tremendous amount of appreciation there, right? So cell token did 4,000% in increase in value last year, plus the compounding effect. Every week you're adding more and more and more of your earnings to that compounding effect. That's how Warren Buffett and everybody else makes all their money. Remember, Berkshire Hathaway, one of the most famed companies in the world, every one of the stocks he owns pays a dividend, but Berkshire itself doesn't pay a dividend. And all he's doing is compounding all those dividends from Coca-Cola and from the banks and from Apple and from everybody else, right? And he looks like a genius because he makes hundreds of billions of dollars, but all of that is the compounding effect over a 50-year period, right? And I think Einstein said it, right? The most powerful force in the universe is compounding interest. You're muted, Chip.
If you're muted.
Okay. I had a mute because the dog was going a little nuts. He was excited you're on tonight. And so out of curiosity, why is there so much pushback with the old guard? So you had Charlie Munger, you had Warren Buffett, you have all of this old school, traditional finance, Wall Street people that are just pushing back. They're really going after Bitcoin in a big way. And then they think that Bitcoin is, nefarious and everything else. Meanwhile, these banks launder hundreds and trillions of dollars a year, and they get banged up. They nothing happens. They go like, how much is the fine? And then they just like brush themselves off. They get back up and they start laundering money again.
The fine is 1 month of earnings.
Right. It's like, who cares? I'll keep doing it. What the hell?
Exactly. Look, Charlie and Warren made all their money from the traditional finance infrastructure, right? So if you expect them to somehow adopt all this new rails, the crypto rails, and learn the game, they're never going to learn this game. I mean, Charlie Munger is 97 years old. He's like, he's basically saying, I'm going to fight until the last day I'm alive for the old system, right? So Celsius, again, has paid hundreds of millions of dollars to the average person. We don't have institutions. We don't have corporates. Our entire 18 billion is 660,000 people worldwide. Small guys, our average account is like $14,000, $15,000, right? So these are people that basically said, I hate the old system, the financial system. I know I'm getting screwed over there. I don't know how. I don't know the details. I don't know the invisible hand works. All I know is that these guys are making a mint on me on fees, not paying me interest, using my money to make money and everything else. I get nothing back, right? I have to pay a fee to withdraw my money out of the ATM, right? So, and here you have a platform that has no fees. You get to participate on the equity creation, on the token value creation. You get to ride on the bus with me, with everybody else, and get exactly the same treatment. There's no first class, second class. Everybody's taking exactly the same ride. So that has never existed in 700 years of banking. There's never been a bank in history that paid its depositors 80% of its profits. Now, it's not something complicated. This is not like, I invented a new formula that uses, that creates a new element on the planet. This is basics. Just deciding who's important, the depositor or the shareholder. It's that simple. Now, we're adding over $1.25 billion a month right now.
Wow.
Now, find one commercial for Celsius. Find anywhere on the internet a commercial for Celsius. You're not going to find it. This is the community telling other people, hey, listen, you got to trust this company. They're actually here to help us. They're here to empower the average Joe. And who are we taking all this money from? We're taking it from Wall Street. We're taking it from the institution and redistributing it to the average person.
It's the real Robin Hood, really. Quite honestly, it's
now, Robin Hood, to
taking the rich.
Robin Hood does exactly what Celsius does. They do sec lending. They take the stocks you give them and they lend them out, but they keep all the profit. You don't get profit distribution with Robin Hood. You just get no.
That's why you can't get the keys. That's why they keep all the keys. They keep them under there.
Your crypto, and it's a mess. And so it's interesting. Well, on one of the last shows that you were with us on, we talked about with all this, the trials and tribulations of everything, and we're kind of leaving the brick and mortar system, and the titans of yesterday are holding on with everything that they have to that brick and mortar. And it's amazing to me. And one of the things that you said, and it resonates, and Chip and I bring it up often, but you said out of the ash heap of all of this, there's going to be a whole new class of titans, and it's going to be different in this decentralized framework. Right. What do you think are some of the bigger?
Well, we're celebrating. We're celebrating the people who got in on the game first. We're not celebrating the people who created wealth for others.
Right.
We're celebrating the people like, again, people who made billions of dollars in crypto. Well, what do you mean? What did you do by making? Did you give it to somebody else? No, I just get in on the bus before you, so I'm going to collect more money than you do. Right? That's not what crypto is created for. When you read Satoshi's paper, right? This was not created to just mint new billionaires. This was created to empower 7.8 billion people to get out of the rat race, to get out of this inequality of the class system and everything else. So Celsius is breaking all those rules. I don't care, these guys or some other guys, you're not doing anything for the community. What are you doing for the community by showing that you made billions of dollars? I can make billions of dollars by charging fees. I elect not to charge fees. I elect to give everything back to the community. And DeFi, to give credit to DeFi, pure DeFi, a lot of the projects are based on that mantra. They're based on that distribution. You know, they're based on open source code, based on equal access, and so on, so on. So I think, yes, we're gonna mint a new set of winners, but I'm urging, again, like I urged in the last show, I'm urging every one of the new projects to raise the bar on giving back, right? Doing good and then doing well. First, you gotta do good.
Yeah,
Help
now
others get with, yeah, Jeff.
yeah, I was going to say, so with all of this, and we see the direction things are moving in, but it seems like there's still some hesitancy, not just from the brick and mortars and the old school, the old guard. Obviously, the politicians are interfering a little bit. They're beholden to the lobbyists. Do you see this SEC case that's going on right now against Ripple? Do you see it as an impediment at this point in time? You know, or do you see it as a net positive if the case comes out in favor of Ripple? You know, how do you see this whole thing translating and the potential impact on the crypto space overall?
I think Ripple is going to win, and I'm looking at Ripple's market cap here, right? Whereas Ripple market cap is $66 billion, right? It's $1.44. When the SEC filed its case, the Ripple went down to 25 cents. So the market already told you, the crypto market is saying, we know who's going to win, right? So I don't think the SEC has a good case. There was never a sale between a Ripple and all the people who bought XRP, and hence, where is the Howey test? How do you pass how do you fail the Howey test if there was never a sale? So again, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. I'm just saying that the new commissioner may decide to drop the case, or you're going to see some settlement where whatever Ripple pays $100 million and nothing happens, right? So, but again, this is not about who wins the case. It's about the regulators clarifying what and updating the 1933 laws that are completely irrelevant to the digital economy that we're living in. And COVID accelerated us. It's like a time machine. It took us 20 years forward overnight, effectively, right? Everything just became digital, right? Yeah. Every country in the world is doing a CBDC and you know, and so on, so on. So you know, and we are fighting. The SEC is fighting a fight from 1933. It's like going and watching an old movie from the last century, and like you know,
that's government. Government's always they're always living in the past. Out of curiosity, what do you think about the administration rolling out proposals for a 43.4% capital gains? That kind of like got the market a little bit. I mean, it hit about an impact of about 24 hours, but suddenly, you know, you had people who realized that in a very short period of time, they're going to go into that millionaire class, and all of a sudden, they're going to be the so-called rich, right? If that's rich. And then all of a sudden they don't like you taking 40%, and then the other in taxes, and then you walk away with 45 or 40%, maybe 35%. So all of a sudden they're not fans anymore. Isn't that interesting? What are your thoughts about what this is doing? You know, tax hikes and penalizing companies. We just saw GM is going to be, they said, hey, we're spending $1 billion on electric vehicles. And I was like, that sounds good. And they go, we're moving to Mexico. I was like, ooh, that doesn't sound so good.
Right. Look, we can't spend trillions of dollars and not pay the tab and do it every year and think that nothing is going to happen. So the Biden administration is going to spend $6 trillion on top of the $4 trillion that our government spends just from its budget, right? So we're going to have record deficits, and not raising taxes is just going to be completely irresponsible. So every administration kind of kicks the can down the road and expects the next administration to raise the taxes, and they never do, right? So I feel, you know, like, again, I live in New York City, right? So for me to say, hey, I want higher taxes, I'm already paying the highest taxes you can. But I don't think that me or other top entrepreneurs are going to work any harder if I pay 30% tax or 40% tax or 50% tax. So I want to be a responsible citizen, and I don't want my kids to pay my taxes, right? And
Sure.
I don't know if the right number is 25 or 28. It's definitely not 40.
Sure.
But I think we need to raise our taxes, right? And all of these, again, all these crypto guys who are leaving to Puerto Rico because they became millionaires. Come on, guys. Like I said, I haven't left New York in 32 years. I haven't left it in Corona. I haven't left it after 9/11. I haven't left it under any circumstances. And just because you made money, you're just now going to run away and not pay taxes. This country gave you everything. Here, I was talking to you before that, right? This is my exit visa from the Ukraine. That's all I got. The United States of America paid for me to exit Russia in 1972 because Arm & Hammer paid a metric ton for every Jew who left Russia. Every Jew that they released, the United States paid for them. So I'm here. I'm going to work till I'm 100 to pay off all that debt for what America paid for me. So
Well said.
So we have responsibilities, and are we kids or are we adults? And again, the crypto industry can't behave like we are offshore, whatever. Like we're not. We're here. We're part of the economy. We're part of society. We're going to be good citizens, and we're going to create the future. All in one package.
Yeah, and that's the mechanism, and a lot of what you say resonates, but there is a point where it becomes too much overburdening, punitive taxation, and some of the things that they've recommended, not just on the capital gain side, but they want to bring back an inheritance tax, a death tax, and some of these inheritance taxes and death taxes become so detrimental. And I'm talking about like up to 60%. So now you have your savings. So you've put all this money aside, you've invested, whether it's crypto or whatever, and now you pass away and you give it to your children and they go to inherit it. They're paying a huge penalty. And it seems to interfere with the longevity when you want to create, family changing money. But where it really has a detrimental impact on those that are inheriting farms and other businesses where they inherited, if they didn't structure it 100% accurately, then they get penalized to a point where they can't afford to keep their business or their farm and they have to give it up. But one of the things that you brought up, really, it makes sense. If you're investing, you can't all of a sudden run away and flee this country because you don't want to pay taxes. We're paying taxes, we're living here. There's nowhere else. There's no better place in the world. From our perspective, we have people from all over the world that are here. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that are tuning in right now that are living in other countries that would love to have an opportunity to live here in the US, and we got to respect that.
No, I agree with you. I think, look, having crazy taxes is definitely not a good thing. It's not going to attract immigrants and other people to come to this country. And it's going to make Americans leave the country, right? So we have to have the right balance. But we've been overspending since 1971, since we went off the gold standards. The United States have been spending more than it's making. There was only, I think, 1 year in 2000 where we had a budget. Yeah, exactly. So
1 year.
That was because the stock market was so crazy that that the taxes were just phenomenal, right? And they could basically had the surplus instead of a deficit. But basically, look, sooner or later, we're going to have to pay the tab. And the reason Bitcoin is doing so well is because we are effectively debasing the dollar, right? The dollar is losing its value. And a Bitcoin is still a Bitcoin. The only thing that's changed is that now you need $55,000 instead of $5,000 to buy one, right? So again, 76% of all the dollars ever that were ever created were printed since 2008, right? I think it's something like 36% has been printed in the last 12 months. I mean, it's just crazy, right? So, and the government is telling you there's 2% inflation. Are you kidding me?
Oh, it's insane. Well, after a while, they can't hide it, Alex. They make the product a little bit smaller and smaller until, like, You go like, well, I bought this product last week and I'm pretty sure it was 4 times the size, it's like, that's how they cover it up. They go like, well, and then they raise the price a little bit. I love how the government just came out and said, oh, no, it's lumber. That's just one of those things. We had the pandemic and I'm like, well, it's not just lumber. It's gasoline, petrol. It's all these other things,
Chlorine. We're worried about chlorine now.
Right.
There's gonna be a
Chlorine.
chlorine shortage. We can't fill the pool.
All the commodities are going to go up.
And that was toilet paper, but I mean, there's always a positive and negative too. When you look at the Treasury, when you start creating incentives, look at what happened in Ireland. They were one of the poorest in the EU. They became a powerhouse. Why? Because they attracted big business that brought a tax base in, but they lowered it. And we saw in Ireland when they lowered their tax rate, and out of all civilized democratic countries in the whole entire world, the U.S. is starting to again, even France is going to lower theirs again. France is lowering it even more. So what we've seen is that more money comes into Treasury. But what you're pointing out, that's great. But the problem is our spending is out of control. And that's where we get ourselves in trouble. We have to live on a budget as people. We have our bills to pay. The government, they no term limits. They spend willy-nilly. They're just crazy. It's like crazy town there.
And it's not just the administration. The Fed basically is reflated. Anytime there was a problem, right? 87, right? 91, 99 or 2000, right? 2008. Now again, last year, right? The Fed has had to reflate the whole economy, put a net under the economy, right? They bail out everybody, right? Everybody who needed a bailout money could raise money because the Fed said, we'll buy any bond. Doesn't matter what bond it is, we'll buy that at par, at full value. Right, so every company in the United States could raise as much money as it wanted. So what that does is it creates inflation, right? What it does, it creates debasement of the currency. So it's not even just the administration. You have the administration and the Fed basically printing money as fast as possible, and now we have zombie companies that we should have never bailed out. To your point, we should have taken that money and invested in technology, invested in artificial intelligence, in machine learning, in blockchain, and so on, and basically built the future. Now, Biden is trying to do that. He's investing in electrical cars and he's investing all kind of other stuff. But half of that $6 trillion is going to be given as pork money to bullshit projects. So
that's where it all goes.
Yeah.
Well, when you call it a stimulus bill, and then you go like, let's see, you paupers, the average American people, how about if we say that you're worth this? So give 90% of it, and then maybe 10% up. Now this new stimulus package are coming up, and now which is supposed to be infrastructure, 6%.
Simple math.
Goes 6%.
There's 300 million Americans. I think about 200 million of them get a check, right? A 1.9 trillion stimulus bill. $1,200 per 200 million. Do quick math. Where did all the money go? Most of that 1.9 never reached the American people. It all went to other projects, right? So
and the projects are useless projects.
$1 trillion that was given not to you, the American people.
That's right. And we still see, we're talking about, and this is where, I look, outside of the US and what this entire space represents, and you brought it up early on, but it's giving the power back to the people to really become self-reliant and build, and develop opportunities. And one of the things that we're seeing outside of the borders of the US with blockchain, with cryptocurrency, is that we're seeing all these amazing projects that are starting to grow everywhere around the world. And this is different. This is such a divergence from where we used to be, where everything used to focus and center in on Silicon Valley. But now it's growing everywhere. Are you starting to see, from your perspective with Celsius, and you have different offices around the world, are you guys investing and looking to seed any of those businesses that are building around the world?
Yeah, so like you said, we have people in Australia and Hong Kong and in Europe in 7 different cities in the United States. And the amazing thing about crypto and specifically DeFi is that it does not require all of that infrastructure that you needed either in Silicon Valley or manufacturing or anything like that, right? You can sit down, you can write a protocol, you can publish it overnight, and have $500 million in DeFi money in capital already working on it when you in the morning when you wake up, right? So the ability to innovate, right, to create that kind of innovation has never existed before. You could never, right, go to and create a service on a bank in a bank because you had to. The bank would never accept your service. You know, they'll be like, "What? You want to replace our ATM machine?" You know, like, we're not interested in that. So here you can create a new protocol, something better than Celsius overnight, right? And if it's really better than Celsius, all the money is going to go there. So I think we see that innovation happening worldwide. We're not seeing it just happening in the United States, but I can tell you that some of the best people in the world, like we're getting talent from Google, from Apple, from Amazon. People are leaving these amazing companies to come and work in Celsius, come and work in DeFi and build the future of finance, because they can see that they can make an impact, right? They can change the future. They can put their fingerprint and leave a legacy, because now is the time. Like, again, all of us, all three of us, are maybe 6 months ahead of somebody who's just got into the space. It's moving so fast that we can't keep up with it, right? I mean, every day there's a new project, and by the time you learn about it, there's 10 other new projects that you didn't even know existed. I mean, but it's great because this experimentation is going to lead to few amazing companies, just like we had in the .com boom, right? Out of that colossal spent of money, we got few amazing companies that really created the mega power that we have today, right? America, the Apple came out of it, right? The new Apple, Google, Microsoft got a second life out of that, you know, Amazon and so on. So who are those companies in crypto, right? Who are these companies? And it's not the people who make the money. It's the companies that provide services to a very, very large community of users, right? So today, like I said, we're less than 1 million customers, but we're going after having 1 billion customers, not having 10 million or 100 million. We're going after 1 billion customers. Is there anyone on the planet who does not want to earn interest on their money? You tell me. I asked you that question the first time we met. I said to you, Jeff, you know, Chip, is there anyone on the planet who doesn't want to earn interest? And where can they earn interest if it's not in crypto?
That's it. I've looked and I've asked. I've yet to find one person, you know, and every especially if you can earn interest and you can compound the interest.
That's right.
And it's rare. It's so rare that you have an opportunity like that, and to be in this space is outstanding.
Yeah, especially with the company.
We have over 100 job openings right now. Anyone who has DeFi skills or have Python skills, any kind of skills, you know, we need them all, right? We have 40 people in Cyprus, like out of all places, you know, like, why? We found a few good people there. They have a university there, a blockchain university.
Do you have anybody in South Florida? Jeff and I living down here in South Florida, enjoying the beautiful weather down here.
I'm coming to visit you. I'm speaking at the Bitcoin conference on June 4th.
Oh, so yeah,
you gotta come and see us in Miami.
We'll come and hang out.
We open an office in Tampa. We have an office in Miami.
Oh wow, nice.
So we're all over the place. Yeah, in Florida.
Great. Yeah, we'll have to stop in and visit.
Yeah, we'll go down there. That's on the 4th, right? June 4th.
Yep, and it's already sold out. So if you didn't get tickets, you gotta.
No, well, we would go as press. I don't know if there's any press. Sometimes we get press credentials.
Worst case, just tell them you're a Celsian and they'll let you in. No problem.
A Celsian. Well, we are Celsians, so it all works. So
we'll give you
Celsians.
You know, you'll be
awesome.
Alex Mashinsky. You'll be like, hey, I'm
perfect. Yeah.
Like, we know Alex Mashinsky. We know him.
Many conferences. Yeah, look at it.
He's been on the chain a couple times. Like, I'm sorry, who are you guys again? What do you do? Get out of here. Get out of here, knuckleheads.
They'll be like, wait a second, isn't Cell Token running on Ethereum? You're not allowed in here.
Oh boy. Well, listen, listen, Alex, really want to just extend a warm thank you. You've always been really generous with your time. Always love you coming in here, getting your thoughts on anything that you don't just hit a home run on. I mean, it's like we throw all kind of stuff at you. But thank you for coming on the chain. I want to remind everybody to, if it's your first time here, like, subscribe, And look, maybe we'll try to report on that. I'd like to see if we can go down and see Alex and go down to that. So we'll figure out some way to get in there. Jeff, you got anything before we give Alex last word?
Alex, I just want to, thank you again for coming on. It's always a pleasure having you here with us on the chain. Want to give a quick shout out to everybody that's joined us here as well live. We're just under 300 people watching right now. And Alex will give you the last word on this.
Sure. Look, you have a Jeff right behind you, right? HODL is the secret. HODL, earn yield, let it compound, and you'll have more coins than if you try to trade, or if you try to time the market, or if you try to do anything else. I have less Bitcoin today than I had a few years ago because I tried to trade it myself, and I had to teach myself the same old lesson, right? So really, we created Celsius for ourselves, and then we ended up having a few 100,000 people join us. But this journey is about sitting on your hands, and just the U.S. economy, the Fed are already ruining the dollars for you. So you don't need to do anything. You just need to detach yourself from the U.S. dollar, put yourself in crypto, and you'll do just fine. And we're in Clubhouse right after the show. If you want to join us on Celsius, we have a room in Clubhouse. So if you have nothing better to do, you want to hear me talk for another hour, come join us there. And Chip and Jeff are starting their own channel, right? Are you starting your own channel?
We are. As soon as Jeff gets on the Apple train,
so now I'm going to buy an Apple phone, and I'll have a Clubhouse only phone. I've made that
this phone, man. This 12 Pro is just
it's perfect.
When
I need
they give it to you for free. The phone companies, you don't even have to pay for it. They give you
that's right. So I'm gonna go get one of those. We'll set that up, and we'll be good with that. So again, I just want to say, Alex, thanks for being here. Thanks everybody for tuning in with us tonight. Tonight's Tuesday, so we're back on again tomorrow night, Wednesday. We're streaming 6 days a week, Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you guys haven't done it yet, go check out the other channel. There's a link in the description below. We are posting daily content over there, short form videos. Alex, again, it's a real pleasure. And if you can hang out just for a minute, as we go out of here, and we can just say some parting words, and just a quick shout out to John Gill. Appreciate the support, the best and slowest growing channel on YouTube.
Appreciate that, John. Fantastic. I froze up, by the way. Here we go.
All right.
Let's get out of here. We'll see you on the next one, guys.
See you on the next.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.